Hi, I'm Anita from Needles and Hooks, and welcome to episode 33 of Yarn with Me. If you could be so kind to like, share, subscribe, join the Discord, the link to that is in the description below. Today, I'm going to be working on the blanket backing for my blanket. So, as you can see, I'm in the middle of attaching a strip to the rest of it, but I need more of this done to keep going. And as you can see, I have a little bit of not quite a long way to go, but quite a bit to go for that. So I'm hoping I can get this panel done excuse me, in the next 30 minutes. So I'm just gonna continue to crochet on this. My container that held my yarn fell over. Now that that's fixed, and I've got my timer ready, set to go, and off we are to the races. So hopefully you guys are staying warm if you're in a cold area, and that you're not being affected too much by all the storms and the flooding that's going on in the Midwest. Because, I mean, I used to live in the Midwest. I grew up in Missouri, so in a tiny, tiny, tiny little town. We didn't really get much. I mean, it would rain, but not too much to where everything got flooded out. But I remember back in, I think maybe early 2000s, we went camping with a bunch of people one weekend, and it rained, our tent flooded, but the following week, the whole place flooded. And it was just like, ooh, glad we didn't plan our trip for this weekend. So I'm not, what do you call it, a stranger to floods and stuff like that. See, this is what happens when I don't, uh-oh. I am wrapped around the box I've got this in. Let's try this again, shall we? There we go. Now I can work without being stuck. But I've been trying to get things squared away in my living room. I put a bunch of stuff away. I had some, the blanket this is going on, I put it in my room so it's not on the floor, taking up valuable real estate in my teeny tiny living room. Let's see, how am I going to do this? This way? Ugh. Fix this. Sort of. Ugh, darn it. This is what happens when you're working the project and you're trying to sew the panel at the same time. It's a little bit cumbersome. So let me know what project you're working on. I've got, I think, 11, wait, yeah. Am I down? I can't remember if I'm down to 11 or 10 whips to go. As soon as I get that tutorial project done, I'm going to work on the one that's down here on the floor and get that finished. So that tutorial I can finish that video for the tutorial and then get it out. But I do need to write the patterns for this one, which I probably should do sometime today. That way, if it comes out, it's going to come out this week sometime. I'm not going to put a specific day on it. I'm not entirely sure what day I'm going to release it on, but I need to have the pattern completed before that happens. I got part of it done, but I need to finish it. Because I was like fighting, I was like, what am I going to put as a border on that? And I'm just like, probably something simple. It doesn't need to have a grand border. But it does need a border on it. So that will get done. The video hopefully will get done today, because I'm in between shooting this and editing it and uploading it. I'm going to do my laundry. I'm going to get that taken care of so I can set my table back up, because yeah, that the larger table takes up a lot of space in my living room, but it's a lot easier to deal with the bigger table doing this stuff than it is that tiny table that's sitting over there right now. And I've been systematically trying to go through stuff, use up some of that yarn that I got from Ice Yarns, and put them into the mystery bags that I've got over there. I'm going to end up having 41 of those, but I have to make the stuff to go in them. Just little fun stuff, little fun things that hopefully people will like. Because so far it's I mean, I can say what's in there. There's definitely a bookmark. There's definitely a coaster. And a few of them have earrings, necklaces, bracelets. What else is in there? Some will have washcloths. One has a belt. One has like this funky scarf looking thing that you could probably use as a belt if you tie it. But it's all a mystery. As soon as I get them sealed, I'm not going to know what's in them. For sure. But that's basically what's in there right now. And I'm still trying to find, like, I've got all these beads and stuff. You can slightly see some of this stuff on the floor. But I want to have 5 items in each of those bags. I have a total of 9 completed. I could get 11 done, but I need to make one more thing for each of those, which hopefully I can get sometime this week. I was just trying to figure out what exactly to do to put on them. Put in them. Because it's like I don't want to do the same thing over and over again, because, you know, it gets kind of boring. And it's like I'm not a person that does mass production of one item and then move on to the next one. I do a bunch of stuff, which I've been just concentrating mainly on doing the mystery bags instead of regular product for my site when I finally get it done. I still have to get some things like a scale, a printer, the thermal label printer, packaging thingies. Which hopefully I can get that those things within the next 2 weeks, maybe. Hoping. Fingers crossed. So I can get everything set up and ready to go. Because like I said, I want to open by June. And it is now April. That gives me 2 months. I'm also looking to move too, so whatever happens with that might throw a kink in the works, but we'll see. It's everything is just kind of just like playing the waiting game. I gotta wait to get this thing. I gotta wait to do this. I gotta wait to do that. Which is annoying, but that's how it works. At least that's how it works for me. I need to count one. Well, I'll count the next row. Can't, just because the way this yarn is, it's kind of hard to somewhat count the stitches. I don't know if that's going over the microphone, but there's a dove out there somewhere making their noise. It's not on my air conditioner. It's further away. It's on somebody else's air conditioner. It reminds me, I gotta clean it, the vent and the filter. I probably mentioned that a while back, and I still haven't done it. It will get done eventually. So I think with this first 30 minutes, I will go as far as I can, and then when we start the next 30 minutes, I will stitch up what I have and then keep going. I would like to get this strip done in an hour, but I don't believe I will. This box keeps sliding around over here because I moved it to get it out from under my desk. Stuck it over on my couch, and then I brought it back just so I can do this. Something different, because I don't feel like dealing with the 10-stitch blankets right now, which I do need to get on the one that I'm using the Lion Brand Mandala on, because I've got so much of that yarn. I'm just not sure if I'm going to use all of that yarn, because I still have a big giant ball under my desk. It was one of those jumbo cakes. I think that's what they called it. Oh, and I didn't count the next row. Whoops. This is what happens when I don't pay attention. Yeah, I bought 2 of those with, I wanted to make like a summer cover-up. But as I didn't know the pattern well, I made it way too long. And I didn't want it that long. So I was like, I frogged it, and then I was like, you know what, let me just do another one of these 10-stitch blankets. Because my little sock yarn ball that I've been working on the other one, it's about this big now. So it won't be much further if I work on that to get to that cute little sock yarn cake I've got over there. And then when that cake is gone, then I have to put that project on hold until I get more sock yarn. I still didn't count. Oh my goodness. I need to make sure I've got 13 single crochets going across. This ball wasn't so big. Trying to get that ball down to a little more manageable size. I've got one more big ball of this stuff from that blanket that I took apart. It's behind me in the basket. I can't wait to get that done and over with, and I can get to the 2 other balls of blanket yarn that's in my room. So now we shall count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. We do have 13. It's always good to, like, especially with stuff like this, to count once in a while to make sure you've got all of your stitches where they're supposed to be. See, I haven't really gotten that far on it. Maybe 10 rows. I don't know. I haven't counted. All I know is this needed to be 100 inches long, and when I got that first strip done and I ran out of the yarn from that blanket I took apart, it was exactly 100 inches. So I was like, sweet. So the next subsequent strips, I'll work until I feel I need to attach it. Like, I'll work the strip until it's my height, and then I'll seam it up, whip stitch it to the previous one, and then work from there. That way they're all the same length. I'm gonna need some coffee here in a sec. It's just a basic, mindless, mostly single crochet with my J hook here. I really want this done before this coming winter. And I'm hoping I'm not going to be living here when that happens. Oh, coffee, 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 coffee. How are we doing on our time? We have 15 minutes in our first 30. Oh, it would be glorious to like get this specific strip done so I can just set this aside and then start on the next one. The ball is almost to the point where it's smaller than the box I stuck it in. It's still a pretty big ball. I should be able to get through the rest of this strip with what's over here. And I've got to go through everything in my room, deal with that stuff because there's yarn all up in there. As soon as I get started with this other ball of this yarn, I can put those skeins of yarn in this basket over here that I made. That way it's out of my room and I can see what I have. The only yarn that's not coming out here other than random skeins of it is that Ice Yarns natural cotton yarn, because I still have quite a lot of that. I just need to go through it. I think maybe I should just grab a skein from each bag, because I've been just using this right now, this gray and this pink, and I've got other colors in there too that I need to start working with, because that yarn I was wanting to like do for like well, bucket hats, market bags, design my own bandana if I can actually get to a point I can actually design my own bandana and stuff. But the way the yarn is, it's not plied very well. It's only got like a slight twist to the yarn, so it makes it a little difficult to work with. And I know I've talked about this before. I tried using a bead to keep the strings together, but all that did was hurt my right hand. So, and the recommended hook size was just a little too small, so you would miss some of the strands. So I've been working it with my I9 5.5 millimeter hook, and it seems to work a lot better. But still, I'm not entirely happy with that yarn. I'm just using it to make the washcloths and stuff for the mystery bags. Oh, there will be some will have mug rugs. Ew, look, a knot. That's fine. I don't care about knots, not for this project. Ha ha ha. It is a blanket for me, so I'm not precious with it. And being as it is like spring, it really needs to, spring needs to be springy with its temperatures, because last week it was cold, and then we had some flippin', it was snow flurries. And I thought I was at the point where I didn't have to wear my coat to work anymore, or the long sleeve shirt under my work shirt. Not the case. And I'm hoping it's supposed to be in the 60s and 70s. It's supposed to hit in the 80s on Saturday. So I'm hoping it stays that way. Really like warm. Because it's like the consensus among people I've talked to, they're over this winter crap. They're over the cold. can't say I blame them. I am sick and tired of being cold. And it was cold last night. I mean, I had the window open because it was hot in here. But my daughter, she's like, oh, should we put the fan in the window in the bedroom? It's like, okay, yeah. Woo! It was so cold in there. And then I woke up because I had to get up so I could take her to work. And I was like over here getting the computer on, trying to sort out what I'm doing today. And I heard the familiar noise of the heater click. And I'm like, that heater turn on? So I got up, went into the room, put my hand over the vent, and yeah, it was on. It was just like, whew, it's cold in here. So I've got it turned on right now too, because I'm trying to get the chill out. I mean, having the fan in the window, it's not really ready for that yet. It might be sometime this week, especially on the days where it's going to hit in the 70s. I will probably have the fan in the window in my room so I can stay cool, so I'm not hot, so I can sleep. Yeah, it's like I don't like being too cold. I don't like being too hot. I like to be just right. I am Goldilocks, even though I have brown hair. Okay. Yeah, so I can't wait to get that tutorial done and finished, and the pattern written and ready to go. I just need to work on a better template. I was using Affinity Publisher for my patterns, but it's kind of a pain. It's a pain to use. So, yeah, I'm gonna probably just do it in LibreOffice, which would be a lot simpler, where I'm not having to like move text boxes trying to line things up and stuff, because that is tedious. I can make tables and stuff in LibreOffice. I can add photos, stuff like that. Which is not difficult. Trying to do it in Publisher is a pain in the butt. I just need a layout, if you will. Oh, I need to put those in my inventory. Yeah, because since Michael's Maker Place only handles physical objects, they don't do like pattern downloads, I have to keep it on Gumroad. I lost my train of thought where I was going with that. But I do need to add my current patterns to my inventory. Ooh, and there is one that I have that I do not have a tutorial for. So I need to write that down. Let's see. Of course my pen doesn't want to work. There we go. It's on my list. Alright, I already have a list on the computer, so I was like, I don't want to open my program and then type it in there. I was like, I got a piece of paper right here. I could just write it down on. And I will add it to my list of stuff when I get a moment. Let's see. Well, we got some decent distance from where the yarn is. When this timer goes off, take a little break and then come back and then stitch up what I have. So I got yarn needles over here somewhere. I really need like a container over here to hold all my hooks and stuff in. I have a little tin over there with all my stitch markers and stuff, because I know when I finish that tutorial, I'm gonna need stitch markers for the border. That way I know where I'm at, because it's going to be a 3-round border. There goes the dove again. As long as it doesn't get on my air conditioner. Because when it gets on the air conditioner outside, its little feet make a lot of noise, and then the cooing that they're doing is a lot louder. It's like, because I was sitting here one morning, like a year or two ago, and I heard something hit my air conditioner. I'm like, what was that? And then all of a sudden it started making noise, and you could just hear it like moving its little clawed feet and making the noise, the cooing noise. You probably can't hear it, but it was just like, what is that damn bird doing? Hanging out. I'm not the only I'm not the only one it does it at. I think it's on the air conditioner in the apartment right here. I think that's where it is. I mean, it's close, but not like super close. It might even be further down. I don't know. I can't really see that far that direction out my window. Not that I would anyway, because I got all this in front of it. Starts warming up. I can actually have the window open in the living room and in my bedroom, so I can get some kind of like airflow in here. Just crocheting and pulling yarn. Damn it. Alright, turn. Let's see, where's our time at? Less than 2.5 minutes left in this first half. Yeah, even if I don't get this strip done in this session, I am going to try and finish this strip today before I go to bed. That way it's out from under my desk. Well, it's off of my lap. Because once I start adding more, I think this is only the 3rd panel. I think I initially thought I was going to get 7 panels out of the yarn I have. I'm more realistically thinking I'm only going to get maybe 5 and the start of a 6th one, but I do not know. I'm winging this as I go. Be great to get half of it, but I've got that one big ball. This one still will be a slightly biggish ball, and then 2 skeins of Bernay. Is it Bernay or Bernat? I don't have a clue. I've heard it both ways. Blanket yarn in my room. And once those get used, then I will go and get 2 more skeins of it. at a time. And continue working. Unless by some reason I go to a thrift store and they have another blanket like this. Because I am basically, well, most of this, other than that first one that strip that I started, is all reclaimed blanket yarn. This blanket's going to be so heavy. It's going to act like a nice warm weighted blanket. Can't wait. Could have used it this winter. Not gonna lie. And there's our timer. Stop. Now I'm gonna just go ahead and chain one, pull up a huge loop, and we will take our break. Yay! Take a break. You earned it. And I'm back from my break. Yay! Anyway, got it setting over here. I need to see something first before I get going on stitching up what I've got. I still have yarn to do that with, and if I run out of that, then I'll just continue to go. Let me see where I'm at with this. Ooh, might be a little further than I thought. No, not too terribly bad. It would still be like maybe about this much to go on it. So I'm gonna try and pick this up. It is already quite heavy. And I'm going to see, where am I? I'll have to flip it. Which way was it going? Oh goodness. Let me see. Yeah, okay, so that's the front. I need to fold it over this way. There we go. I just had to make sure where I was at because I didn't want to like move it to the wrong side. I've got my yarn needle here. I'm going to thread it and then I'll restart our timer. There we go. Threaded and ready to go. And so is the timer. Yeah, there's not too much left I have to do on this, but this panel will get done today. I also need to catch up on my temperature blanket. I think I'm back to 4 days behind on that because I spent most of this week trying to like finish other stuff and get that ready to go because I really need to finish these projects before I even think about starting another one. And I'm just whip stitching these together. Oh, then it's going to be so much fun trying to attach this when I finish the panels, attaching it to the actual blanket. That will definitely not be on camera. It's going to be, it's huge. I might end up having to sit on the floor to do that, which is going to be uncomfortable because I don't think my table will be able to handle it. Because it's a long rectangular card table. It's not square and it's really not big enough to handle this project. I don't even think the floor can handle this project. So I'm going to have to like pin it with I don't know, stitch markers. I've got these little sewing clips instead of using straight pins because for sewing I'm just hoping that next place I move into I can actually do some sewing projects because I would like to start lining my bags, which in the current state that I find myself in am not able to because all the outlets are in inconvenient places. And it makes it difficult to sew and be comfortable sewing. And the same thing happened with the last place. Even though the last place had a lot more room, I still had to sit on the floor with it and the sewing machine and run the pedal with my hand, because I didn't have a table I could put it on. May or may not, probably won't run out of my sewing yarn right here, my stitching yarn, before I get to, because I don't want to go all the way, because then I would have a hard time crocheting. Because I got plenty of tiny balls of yarn I can use to stitch with. If I can actually stitch with it. Oops, that was too close. Now I'll go to about right about here. Yeah, I'm not going to run out of thread yarn. I probably will once I get this panel done and closer to the top. Yeah, right about where my thumb is. Then I can get back to doing the crocheting part. And almost there. And okay. Here we go. Take the needle off. Back on this. I still have this much to go. Here's the end over here. So I've got maybe 2 feet left on this. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I probably won't get this done during this session. My yarn's all tangled up. Okay, try to get it a comfortable. Get over here. Manhandling this project. Yarn out the way. Where is the end? There we go. Get my hook back here. There we are. Now I may start crocheting. As much as I can. Before the end of this session. Yeah, I tried doing it crochet as you go, but I didn't like all the holes that it makes when doing that, so I was like, yeah, no. And I hate hand stitching, and I know I still have to put the March panel on my knit one, which I kind of need the bigger table so I can like have it on the table and it's not being ridiculous. And hopefully I won't have as many issues putting it together like I did the last time. So it'll be nice and better. I just wish the seed stitch worked for that, but when you change color you can see the previous color in the first row of the new color. So I was like going, that's not going to work. I don't like how that looks. But and there's a way you can do it. You could just knit across the first row, but I don't like that either. I like to be able to keep in pattern what I'm doing. Oops. Let's not double crochet. It's not what this one is. Just a nice heavy blanket for me. Now it's a little fiddly, especially when you're like really close to where you stitched the panel to. So I'm trying to move quickly so I can get further away from it so it's easier to turn my work without turning the whole work, because this thing is already heavy as it is. Okay, I'm not. I thought I was wrapped up in some other yarn. I'm not. It just looked like it. Oh, let me turn this space heater off and move it because I keep hitting it with the blanket. Don't particularly need to melt my project at the moment. It's finally starting to warm up in here a little bit. It's getting warmer outside. That's why I waited to do my laundry today, because I didn't want to walk down the stairs and be cold. Where's that at? What the heck? Oh, shoot. Let me get that out of there. Yarn I've been using to sew my panels together. I forgot I put it in that box, and it's like, why is there white yarn coming up with this? Oh, because I forgot to take that out. It'll go back in once I'm done with this panel. So I do need to spend some time creating a logo for my shop. I know what I want, I just need to be able to execute it. And then have it ready for social media and all that fun stuff. I gotta make it big enough to where I can like work with it and then resize it for various things. So I haven't really looked at the size requirements for the banners on Michael's Maker Place. And I need to do that, and I need to write it down so I can like get it done and then have everything ready for it when I'm ready to upload and stuff. And I still have a bunch of stuff sitting on my couch over there that I need to put into my inventory. I just haven't had a chance to do it yet, because I need to get that table back out here. It's slightly cleaned off the piano, but as you can see, some of the same stuff got back on it. So I just need to get these projects done, because it's like they're taking up an incredible amount of space. I still have my temperature blanket stuff sitting right there and in front of me. That I need to work on later on, probably during my vlog, but probably after I get my laundry done, because I need to deal with this. It's just I meant to do it last week and just didn't, because between work and then trying to get things ready to go for my shop, I'm just like exhausted. I was like, I know once I get it started, I don't have to like kill myself trying to do stuff. I mean, it's pretty well advantageous to try to have 100 products ready to go on launch. I'm at 52 right now. And when I add the stuff that's over there and start working on finishing up the mystery bags, I should be really close to 100. Oh, I need to put I need to write something down before I forget. Oh, I hate this pen. Okay, that's done. Or actually, I should probably... Yeah, there we go. That's now written down, so I don't forget. Oh, yeah, I'm totally just zoning out right here. Like thinking about other stuff. Things I'm going to talk about in my vlog for next week. Just going through my head here. Yeah. So I kind of lost track. I was doing this. I mean, it happens. But yeah, I need to make a business to-do list. I have a business to get list, but those will be gotten once I can get them. Yeah, that made sense. Yeah. So this has been an adventure. I wanted to have my own little craft store for like ever. But years ago, I was making all these things like, yeah, they're making this stuff so I can sell them. And my ex was like, "Oh, you really should just be making stuff for us." And I did, but why can't I make extra money doing the same thing? I didn't understand that, so that completely discouraged me, which is why I have all of this extra stuff floating around. That was the stuff that I had made to try to get ready to do like markets or whatever, because that's what I wanted to originally do, and they just sat around for ever. So I took them out of their old little plastic baggies. I washed them, I dried them, got them back up here, ironed them in my kitchen because I wasn't about to get on the floor with an iron for like an hour and a half, which that's how long it took to do that. So, because there's not enough space in here to do what I wanted to do. Because I could have washed them and then took them out and pinned them. Because, I mean, I got a ton of straight pins. I could have pinned them to, like, air dry. Like, blocking or whatever. Even though I do not own any blocking boards of any kind. And I don't know if I need them. Because I don't really block things. I'm just like, because if you block it and then you use it, it's not going to stay blocked, you know? So that's why I always just never did any of that. I mean, I can see the benefit of doing it, especially when you're making separate crochet or knit blocks for a project, and you need to have them to be a specific size so you can stitch them together. And for sweaters and cardigans and whatnot. But as far as like this stuff, I'm not going to do that. I don't need to block this blanket because the blanket top is mitered garter stitch squares. That took forever to make. That blanket took me 3 flippin' years to do because I was just using my scrap yarn, and I didn't want to use any of my variegated yarn. But then I was running low on solid yarn, so I was like going, you know what, screw it. I'll put the variegated yarn in there too. So that's how that went. And it's a pretty big blanket. And the top weighs a lot as well. So this is going to be definitely a nice weighted, get cozy and toasty blanket for the cold winter months. I don't know if that's coming over, but make a noise again. Bird be birding. Okay. Yeah, it's not too... Yeah, I still got quite a ways to go. I definitely probably will not get this strip done in this session. It was a little advantageous to think I could. Oh yeah, so I was watching the Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet about a week or so ago. And I was like, okay, I'm sitting over here, I'm doing stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I need something in the background. Oh, let me finish watching the last 2 hours of Hamlet. I went to Tubi, nowhere to be found. And I'm like, are you kidding me with this? I wanted to finish watching it. So I found it on Plex, but then they had all these commercials. So I was like, fine, whatever. I just want to finish this movie. So I had to find where I was, vaguely. I know I was a little over 2 hours in when I paused it it was last week. And I'm like, where did it go? Because I searched and I'm like, why isn't it in my continue watching list? I swore I put it in my, bookmarked it for my list. Nowhere to be found. And I had no idea that it was going to be not on there anymore. Because I looked. And the only one they had on there was like, the one Mel Gibson did, and then, oh, I can't remember. It's an older film, black and white. It might have been Sir Laurence Olivier. I'm not sure. I haven't seen that one either. What I do want to watch, and I can't find anywhere, is Cleopatra with Elizabeth Taylor and Roddy McDowall. And is it Burt Lancaster? I think. Because I haven't seen that since I was a kid. And allegedly there's a 6-hour version floating around somewhere. But I'm not sure if it's not streaming freely or subscription or whatnot. They have it as rent it or own a digital copy. And it's like, I'd rather either be able to stream it and then come back to it when I want to, or actually have it on DVD. I haven't looked at that option yet. Or maybe there's not a 6-hour version, but they shot enough to make the movie 6 hours long, and then they had to like cut it down. Because I'm like going, Hamlet is 4 hours long? That's insane. All the other Hamlets are not that long. So I'm wondering, and my book is somewhere over there. I have the complete works of William Shakespeare on my shelf back there. The thing is like this thick. And I have not cracked it open for a while. Because the only Shakespeare section we ever did in school was only Romeo and Juliet. And I'm like, are you serious? Why couldn't we do Hamlet? Because I had a hard time following Hamlet. Because we hadn't gone over it, and I had never read it or watched any of the movies. So I was like, I was a little lost. I mean, I got the gist of it, but I was a little lost in some sections. Would like to see The Tempest, but I'm not sure which version I want to watch. What the heck? can't remember the character's name from The Tempest. I know it starts with a P. I think. Yeah. That is an adventure for another day. Darn it. Ooh, my thumb is starting to hurt. I did buy a second thumb brace. That way, if both thumbs are hurting, I can actually put them both on instead of having it on one hand for a little bit and then switching it to the other hand, because that was just annoying. Wait. Let's make sure we're actually going into a stitch and not like... Okay. Had to double check. We count. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Still good. All right. Where's our timer at? 6 minutes left-ish in this session. So my day is filled with chores, shooting my vlog, shooting the rest of the tutorial, writing the pattern, getting it ready before I upload. That is on the docket for today. And probably the temperature blanket somewhere in between. It'll probably take me a few days to catch up. I'm not terribly behind, not like I was before. It's not like 2 weeks or almost 3 weeks behind like I was. And then catching up took all day long. I'm trying not to get that far behind ever again. A couple of days is fine because I can just get it done. And I'm not on a deadline with that, because they both will get finished sometime after the first of the year in 2026, with the sewing it together, putting borders, and then being done with it. And then subsequently using them in one way, shape, or another. So all the ends that are on the back of the crocheted one, I'm just going to make sure the knots are secure, and then I'm just going to snippy snip the ends, which I probably should do as well sometime this week if I feel like it, because I have all this other stuff I need to get done. I definitely need a to-do list. Why don't we ever have to-done lists? You know? I would like all my stuff to be on a to-done list so I could just relax on my day off. I'm just glad I'm not at work on a Monday. But then again, Tuesday is my Monday and Saturday is my Friday. I'm thinking about going to 4 10-hour days. But I don't know when that would be a thing. So, unless the census goes up at work, that won't be happening anytime soon. Oh, my wee fingers. I need a break, but I also want this close to wherever, to the top. I'm going to give myself a nice long break because I need to going to do my laundry after this. And then do dishes. The usual routine. Do some stuff, do some chores, do some other stuff. More chores if I need to. And the main one is getting the laundry done Dishes won't take that long because there's not really that many of them. Darn it, get there. Let's not skip a stitch. Because I did that on, like, a while back, and I'm, like, counting. It's like, why do I only have 12? So I frogged back a little ways and counted until I got back to, like, 13, and then paid attention. I think I was just blindly working on it and just off in la la land. Yeah, this won't be finished. This strip won't be done in this session. It will be, however, be done hopefully today. That way I can set it over there and just have just one little strip sitting over here, so I'm not fighting with the whole thing. Until I get it to the length of my height before I go and start sewing it to the rest of the blanket. Still a pretty big ball in that box down there. It's already set. Yeah, when I took the blanket apart, I used the smaller balls first, and then subsequently the smallest of what was left. Started with that. The last two were the two biggest ones I rolled up. So these are the last two of that. It's like, what are the odds I go to a thrift store and find another one? I wasn't expecting to find this one. Oh, I forgot to turn that heater off. It's starting to get warm in here. All right, I'm going to finish this row. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, yeah, 12, and 13. Chain 1, pull up a loop, and here we are. How far did I get? Yeah, not too much further. Still got a ways to go. We ended right here, and there's still this much left. A little over a foot left to do on this blanket, so yay! We had a great session, didn't we? Awesome. And again, if you could be so kind to like, share, subscribe, join the Discord. The link to that is in the description below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.